Everyone to another RDB Reviews with Ryan. This is our 27th episode, I think. Ryan's keeping a tally. So Ryan's illustrations record how many interviews we've done, episodes as we call it. And Ryan has 3 topics to discuss today, which he'll do in his own time.
The first one we're going to talk about today is actually the main theme in this picture, when you see in this picture, which is a Amazon original series, this shown on Amazon earlier this year, which is Upload.
Season 1, Man with Virtual Reality.
Yeah.
Which Ryan has illustrated for us today, featuring me and him watching programs virtually. Ryan has written this as a comedy, science fiction, satire and drama created by Gray Daniels. In the future, people can upload their consciousness to a luxurious digital afterlife. When party boy Nathan gets uploaded to a virtual resort, he meets the down-to-earth Nora, who starts as his customer service angel, but becomes so much more as she helps him find friendship, love and purpose. Ryan says he was intrigued with this show, that's why I was waiting to watch it to see what it's all about. And he says the series was very good. In the pros, the series version of Heaven is very good. Robbie Amell is very charming and likable. I enjoy the relationship between Nathan and Nora, and I was surprised how the series managed to merge back and forth between the virtual reality world and the real world. In the cons, the weak points of this series to me are the comedy and lack of tension. And then Ryan lists a lot of cast and characters. It's VR. It's obviously got quite a good budget for special effects. Is it any good?
Oh yeah, definitely. It's like someone who dies and your consciousness is uploaded to a virtual reality like adventure, and how this was your life after you basically get killed in a car accident. What is uploaded to a system? Would it be like good to start a new life after the afterlife, or is it dreadful? Would it be like the most excruciating time of his life? Which they
but he's not alive. Can I ask, I'm interested in a lot of things to do with this, Ryan, because it's a high concept program. It's all about uploading your consciousness after death.
It's like a sitcom. It's
light-hearted. I'm just wondering if the main actor actually dies in the hospital and is then actually having a life, or can he go back to living if he wanted to?
Well, he did land that question themselves. Either you want to stay in the afterlife, go back to the real world, or stay in the afterlife.
Okay, so there is kind of a choice. It might be that those questions are answered in the program, so I need to be careful not to ask too many plot-heavy questions, because I guess it's about discovering what this afterlife is all about. You know, as you watch each episode, they probably explain what the pros and cons and limitations are. And you say the weak point was the jokes and tension. So if it's a comedy, it's not the most funny thing you've ever seen.
Well, no, some of the comedy does work, but has like budding tension between him and this other fellow. I think he's like the janitor. Yeah, the afterlife janitor, or one of the other guests in the consciousness. Probably just how it's got. But they're not like it feel like this growing tension. Again, these are just people's consciousness uploaded to this machine, and no really have much attention really.
I watched the trailer.
Yeah, this will be definitely fascinating to see. It's definitely fascinating for people to watch.
It feels like a Being John Malkovich kind of plot. It's sci-fi and a bit mysterious. It assumes that this is a normal thing, that you can upload your consciousness. Then there are rules that he has to abide by, like the breakfast disappears at 10 o'clock in the morning.
Yes.
Upload Season 1, comedy with a high sci-fi concept. Check out Ryan's review in our description if you want to know more.
Yeah, or you can watch it on Amazon. Now we move on from Amazon to Netflix, where we talk about Malibu Rescue, the next wave. There
I go. Yeah. So, a Netflix movie.
I think there's another film and a TV series that ties into this as well.
That explains The Next Wave. So this is a sequel to a movie and a TV series.
Yeah. Exactly. First of all, I would say it's bad.
Yeah.
It doesn't add like big mainstream matters. I feel like this is another example of mass and male content. Netflix is just throw out there without putting a compelling story into it.
Is it featuring the cast from the program and the previous film?
Oh yeah, definitely.
So the fact that they're not established, they are well known if you follow the program. So this is a film probably made for the fans of the program specifically.
Or probably this is just like a film, like a kids show. Definitely for kids to get into surfing.
Maybe.
Probably on the beach side of lifeguards.
Yeah, more like lounging on the beach probably.
Or
I watched the trailer and go on.
No, sorry, what you were going to say. Carry on.
Okay, I was going to say it felt... That's all right, mate. It happens. It felt a bit like Pitch Perfect. The plot had that... If you've seen Pitch Perfect, that'll make sense to you. It had that sense of...
I only seen the third one. I only seen the
third. Oh, that's kind of the same thing because they basically follow this plot where it's like, here's a group of people that we kind of get to like, and then there's a super group of people that are better than us, and we need to compete and we need to train and then we're going to win. So the plot of this movie is that there is a competition, the Beachmaster obstacle course, and it's about getting through that.
Yeah. And, great. You mentioned Pitch Perfect.
Right.
But those have got like charismatic actresses in them, like Hannah Kendrick, Snow, Rebel Wilson.
Yeah.
All those jabs.
That's probably why they made three of them, because they are quite wonderful company on the screen. The Pitch Perfect crowd, they're good fun. Maybe this didn't have quite the same strong following, and it's quite a weak concept, to be honest. It's Baywatch meets obstacle course, triumph through adversity.
I was going to say it's Baywatch, but for kids.
I'm stealing all your lines right now.
But sadly, it's not like slow motion with the boobs everywhere. They'll probably be confusing for kids. So yeah, I think it's this other team, and I'm like, team, I don't remember the names, I think, I just call them Team USA.
Yeah.
Because they didn't show in America, in the sunny beaches. They go on this rival team, and basically the only thing I enjoy from this film is just the fun competition at the end between the two teams on the beach. With all the obstacle courses and one. So yeah, that's the only fun about the film, but everything else is pretty trash.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad there was something about it you enjoyed because you've given it your time. So being on the beach with these people, they're not offensive people. It's just not anything you've ever seen.
Not like something else like Mallrat or Blooming Jackass. Those are embarrassments.
Okay.
And sadly one of them decided to leave that behind him.
Yeah.
And just focus himself as a normal person. And I thought the jokes here was lame. Definitely the poop jokes and land jokes. And I felt the actors overdo their performances at times. And most of all, this doesn't feel like a good actual movie. This is like trying to get to point A to point B. Doing not that brilliantly. Okay, we got to get to this one quickly. Order to get this film done and dusted.
And what you said at the beginning was that just put this out, that it's not really well conceived, that they just went, here's content now.
Yeah, exactly. Like I said before, it's another victim of the large amount of content that Netflix had to throw out there and say it's a movie. Or if you something like Amazon or Disney Plus, they take a little while to get their stuff together like example, The Boys now, they're releasing like a new episode every Friday.
Mm-hmm.
Which I think that's the best way. Both in Netflix, they just like, here's all the episodes, here you go. Enjoy binge watching all this for one day.
I agree with you.
Like,
They need to pace themselves. That's Malibu Rescue, which is kind of like a Nickelodeon version of Baywatch, if you're interested.
So yeah, I thought this was bad. The last one I do today is Marvel Spider-Man Season 2.
This is what you were watching in August.
Yes, brain just opened my eyes into, oh yeah, I just watched that earlier this year.
You posted this August the 7th off the back of the Spider-Verse movie. I'm guessing. You correct me if I'm wrong.
No. Well, no.
It's Disney Plus.
You remember Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends cartoon?
I watched the animated Spider-Man that was on Fox Kids. I'm not sure who made it, but it was in the 90s.
Oh, God.
Early to mid-90s, around the same time as the X-Men cut. That was a great cartoon. That's my experience of Spider-Man. This is a bit more kiddie, if you will, if I may. The animation style, the way that the characters are, it seems like it's aimed at a younger, or the characters seem younger, if that makes sense.
Oh, yeah, pretty much. And it not really feel like Spider-Man. It feels like Spider-Man and his amazing friends adventures in New York City, stopping iconic villains.
Yeah.
J. Jonah Jameson's in it.
I would expect that, but then I haven't been in the Spider-Man universe, as they call it nowadays, for a long time, so I don't know what characters are still with it and what aren't. I mean, there's been a Spider-Man cartoon since the 1960s, I think. It's had a very long run, Spider-Man as a concept in animation, and J. Jonah Jameson's always been there.
Oh yeah, but I think this did take a few changes. It said from Peter Parker, instead of having like slick hair, big like non-body hair, like I think it's stuck with him. It's like with a lot of other different Spider-Man or Spider-like ability, like iconic characters like Spider-Girl, Gwen Stacy, which later on becomes Ghost Spider, and Miles Morales. And instead of right away getting a job with the Daily Bugle, like in the 90s show, now they're working with Mitch Mountain High, which is like school for super science geniuses, which they did make a lot of changes to their rogues as well.
The Rogues Gallery, so his bad guys, they're fresh faces.
Well, some familiar names like Doc Ock, the Lizard, Black Cat, Silver Sable, and you do have like a few Avengers popping up here and there, like the Hulk, Black Widow, Iron Man, in separate episodes, but not all together like it's the Avengers every other time. But overall, they just like Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends, and mostly Spider-Man's latest iconic story able to make it this show. So what I did from this, which is actually seeing like all Spider-Man and the Amazing Friends actually work off each other, like the dynamic between them is actually really damn good. Either with they like spinning out their spider powers together to stop all the crimes in New York, or just learning science stuff with Harry Osborn.
All the characters we know of. Does it feel, Ryan, fresh enough to keep the interest? I suppose my thinking on this is I wouldn't want to watch a brand new Spider-Man cartoon because I've got an established relationship with the character with the old cartoon. But for you, is it fresh enough and new enough for you to be really interested?
Well, I think this one is trying desperately to be its own thing, but also trying to connect to the Tom Holland films. But the actual Spider-Man in this cartoon doesn't look like Tom Holland at all. So basically, like, it's being its own thing.
So the Superior Spider-Man, which you've mentioned in your review, that's kind of like a Venom-inspired thing, where there's like I watched the trailer and it's a little bit confusing about whether or not Peter Parker is the Superior Spider-Man or he is the ordinary Spider-Man, or
Ah,
both. But there is this superior Spider-Man concept where he's got a black and red outfit and he's a bit more dangerous.
oh yeah. I've seen the Superior Spider-Man. You're really close there, but like
Okay.
if you ever chose to read it,
Yeah.
it's basically what if Doc Ock actual body dies, right?
Hmm.
But like his consciousness and behaviour is inside Peter Parker's body and soul.
Right. The trailer begins with that. So there's a transfer of consciousness and it's Dr. Octavius that transfers to Peter Parker's body.
Yeah.
Right.
Actually
Scary.
learning about the responsibility with great power and great responsibility method with
Yeah.
Peter Parker. But sooner or later, he starts actually to take back control of his body,
Yeah.
and basically they like a spin of stories. I think this Spider-Man thing, I think is the best way to describe it, because it does take a little while for me to explain this one. Because I've seen the first half of it, and the other half I've seen on YouTube. But, yeah, we could talk about it on Thursday.